Nicole, when was the last time you actually listened to your gut?
I always do, because nutrition in midlife is so important. And we know that there's a lot of misleading health advice out there. And most of what we're taught about food is wrong. Did you know that Big Food even pays TikTok influencers to say that ultra-processed foods are healthy when they're not?
I actually find that shocking, but it's no wonder that 1 in 8 people globally, that's over 1 billion people, are living with obesity.
So our sponsor Zoe understands that our health is suffering and that it's time we listened to our gut.
They make your gut health their business. And as we've learned in over 5 years of doing podcasts, gut health is key to overall health.
Your Zoe membership starts by testing your gut health, and it's backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests. Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Listen, we know better than anyone else, being in the self-care space, that the start of every new year is noisy with loads of health advice that's often full of hot air and rubbish. But Zoe is the solution that you can trust.
Zoe is the science and nutrition company leading a movement to transform the health of millions. And Zoe membership has been proven by a randomized controlled trial, giving you the solutions to listen to your gut, make smarter food choices, and change your health for life.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to 40ish, you can use the exclusive code 40ish10 to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition programme to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's Zoe.com. Use code 40ish10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
When you think about super successful businesses that are selling through the roof, like Heinz or Mattel, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and brilliant marketing. But there's a secret. The business behind the business, making selling simple for them and buying simple for their customers. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout as Heinz and Mattel. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/promo, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/promo to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/promo.
Exclusively on ESPN Plus, UFC 313, Saturday. Reigning light heavyweight champion Alex Pereira defends his title against number 1 contender Magomed Ankalaev, and an explosive lightweight bout between Justin Gaethje and Rafael Pazzi. UFC 313, Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Buy it on ESPNplus.com/PPV.
This episode is sponsored by Zoe.
I mean, I know Sabrina Carpenter at a push, and she said, who's Sabrina
Oh my
Carpenter?
God, for God's sake. Even I know every line of espresso. Who doesn't? I did obviously do some mild snooping to see if, in fact, he was a DILF.
It's the amount of times that I go into our DMs and you've read it, looked at it, and ignored it. I can't even tell you how often you do that.
Yeah. I don't know why he asked us, as we mentioned at the top of the show, not doctors or health professionals
Or single.
or foreskin experts or owners
Or on the dating scene.
or owners of penises.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to 40ish. I'm Nicole Goodman.
And I'm Lauren Mishcon.
This is the podcast that navigates the challenges and absurdities of 40-something life. Every episode, we discuss your problems, issues, and rants you've kindly shared with us, and also divulge our own stories about the problems and mess of navigating midlife.
That was like said on 1.5.
What's going on this week, then?
It was my birthday.
There's a lot of glasses on your face.
It's just one pair of glasses on my face.
It's a lot of glasses on your face. You know what I mean? It's like a big, bold pair of glasses on your face.
I think they give me an intellectual slant, which is good because it's like an illusion of intellect, even if there's nothing going on inside.
There
it looks smart.
There is a lot of things going on inside.
Well, my mother went wild for these glasses. Jackie was like, "Oh my!"
Wild?
Yeah, she was like, I had lunch with her the day before my birthday. She was like, "Oh my God, I love those glasses. They are fabulous. Where are they from?" And I had to disappoint her. I was like, sorry to tell you, Mum, they are from Amazon. They're about £8.
I think that isn't a disappointment. That is an absolute plus because you can order them there and then.
She was like, I thought they were designer. I'm like, nope, they're not. So I turned 47 on Saturday. It seems that since I turned 47, I can't see. I feel constantly slightly nauseous. When I tried to read the paper last night, nauseous, couldn't read properly. It's like my eyesight's just gone. You're 47 now. You're now blind. Registered blind.
Literally, you just
Maybe
woke
I'll get a golden retriever. Winning.
That's the second time you brought up golden retrievers in the space of 15 minutes.
How sight impaired do you need to be for a guide dog?
Are you going to get a golden retriever? And I think, listen, I love golden retrievers.
I know your issue.
But that dog is going to spend a lot of time at my house.
The fur.
And I'm not into fur and hair being all over my couch.
I'm just not.
I'm just telling you now.
If I threw
So don't say I didn't warn you, because that dog, I'm going to love the dog, but it ain't going to be welcome in my home.
If I threw away my glasses and my lenses, I would be so visually impaired, I might qualify for one. Is it worth it?
Are we at the point where we're having two different conversations now? This is supposed to be one podcast.
Okay, sorry. Let's go back to the birthday. It was my birthday on Saturday. I had a delightful breakfast. Then in the evening, my husband said, we're going out. We're leaving the house at 4:30 for the evening.
Fucking hell. That is not the evening.
Hell.
It's like just after lunch.
Anyway, so we do an hour's journey into the centre of town. We have a very, very nice dinner.
Early dinner.
Early.
What?
Pre-show dinner. We ordered some tea, but we realised that we were a 15-minute walk from the theatre and we did not have time to drink the tea. So unfortunately, we had to leave the tea and then walk at such speed that I got a stitch to the theatre to see this show that I had actually mentioned in passing many, many months ago. He had remembered and booked tickets for.
Well, that's amazing, because I've asked you many times what show it was and you wouldn't tell me. You've been very secretive about the show.
Well, this is why, because I was saving the story. So we go to the theatre. We're going to see The Unicorn with Stephen Mangan and Nicola Walker.
Right.
And we go to the door and we're like, oh, bell's ringing for last seats. Let's go, sit down. And Ollie gives the woman his phone to scan the tickets. And she says, sir, these tickets say the 3rd of March. It's actually the 1st of March tonight. You're not due to see this show until Monday. And he was like, no, that's not a thing. That's not a thing. She said, well, look, you can ask the box office if there's been any returns and they can try and let you in. But I'm just telling you, basically, the whole run is sold out. So it's not going to happen. So
I did wonder why you went to the theatre on Saturday night and Monday night, but you didn't go on Saturday night at all.
Correct. So we go to the box office. There's like 3 minutes to go before the show starts. She's like, no, it's sold out. So we go outside. I mean,
I love that Ollie thinks that he can get tickets to see this bloody show. I mean, you can't get tickets for love nor money.
He did get tickets.
No. But I mean,
just like there, 3 minutes before it started.
That is not going to happen.
So the poor guy, I have to say, fair to him, he never, ever, ever does this sort of thing. He is very organised and together. And when he books something, he books it. It is so unlike him. And he was like, I cannot believe how I have fucked this up. I have ruined your birthday. So it is now 7:30.
He also stuffed. You can't even go and have dinner.
Right.
You've stuffed it all down.
Right. It is now 7:30 at night. I've got indigestion because I have bolted down this dinner and physically run to the theatre to a show that I am now not seeing.
And we all know Lauren doesn't run.
We all know that. I did wear flats, but never mind. And I was like, do you know what? At least it wasn't last night, because then we would have missed the show completely. We would have wasted the money. We would never have been able to see it. At least we've got something to look forward to on Monday.
Yeah.
We're still going to go.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's not the end of the world.
Yeah.
It is fine.
Yeah. I mean, this shit happens to menopausal women every 5 minutes.
Right. So
every 5 minutes.
He was like, I know what we're going to do. We're going to go back to the restaurant.
Have that tea.
And we're going to have that tea that we binned off and maybe a dessert. So off we go. Walk all the way back to the restaurant.
Did you run?
Didn't run, but, trotted.
Yeah.
Sorry, there's no tables now because it's now 7.
It's now actually dinner time.
Yeah. We were like, can we just come in and have our tea? No, we went home.
You went home.
We went home. The Brits was on. So we start watching the Brits. And now I'm starting thinking I really am married to a middle-aged man. He says to me halfway through, I've never heard of this Charlie XCX. Who is he anyway? I said, okay, well, let's start with the fact that it's a girl.
I don't think I've heard of them.
You've never heard of Charlie XCX. She won all the Brits.
Okay.
Okay, well, anyway.
Well, you know what? My friend was at the Brits.
Yeah?
And he goes to the Brits every year.
Yeah.
And even he said he didn't know who anybody was.
Really?
And he's in the biz.
That's a real sign of middle age.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah. I'm
Anyway.
all right with it. I'm all right with it. And then I was telling the story to someone else, and I said, I mean, I know Sabrina Carpenter at a push. And she said, who's Sabrina
Oh my
Carpenter?
God, for God's sake. Even I know every line of Espresso. Who doesn't? Song of the Summer. Come on.
That comes on what's his name on Spotify? X.
DJ X.
DJ X. He
He
loves
loves
to
it.
serve me Sabrina Carpenter. I don't know why he thinks
I love to be served Sabrina Carpenter.
I don't know. Well, maybe he's mistaking me for you because
Maybe.
I don't know why he keeps serving me her.
Maybe because I love her.
I'm done with her.
I'm never done with her.
I am so done with her.
She is the best.
She is not the best.
I love
You know
her.
she's in Hyde Park this summer.
She is cute as cute can
You
be.
go and see her.
What, on my own? That'd be fucking weird.
That'd be fun.
This 47-year-old woman in her glasses. It's Sabrina Carpenter. What the fuck?
In the middle of a field.
Can I just tell you that this is the point of this whole story?
Oh, right.
Was how 40ish my life is.
Right.
We find ourselves at home.
Yeah.
On my birthday.
Yep.
It's now 9:15 in the evening.
Yeah.
Every child is out.
Yeah.
For the night.
Yeah.
The house is our own.
Yeah.
Think of the things that we could get up to.
Yeah.
On my birthday night, alone at home.
Yeah.
He fell asleep on the sofa. So by 9:20, I'm alone, no show, snoring husband, watching the Brits alone. And I thought, do you know what? I'm not enjoying 47. That was my birthday.
Even James is laughing. But just before we dive into your dilemmas, a quick disclaimer. We are not doctors and we are not healthcare professionals.
way.
As much as Lauren thinks she is a doctor.
I mean, I sort of am. I'm a
she
docker.
isn't.
I'm a docker.
What's a docker?
It's like a fake doctor. At home, they call me the docker.
She's just like, she'll look at something and she'll go, oh no, that's fine. You don't need to worry about that. And for the first couple of years
You
of our
did believe me,
relationship.
didn't you?
No, I did believe
Yeah.
you. Now I know
Now
you
you
better.
go to the doctor.
Now I think, do you know what? She's actually not medically trained.
At home, that's what they say. She's a docker. Mum's a docker. She thinks
Oh, that's fine. It's not going to fall off. Don't worry about it.
But they always say, Mum is basically a doctor who never went to medical school. That's what they call me.
Also, AKA
Not
Jewish mother.
Yeah.
This is a fun space where we just share our thoughts.
Yeah. Yep.
So if there is an issue that you are seriously struggling with, please contact a qualified expert.
Clubbers, if you are enjoying this episode, then please could we ask that you share it with a friend?
Someone who you think would absolutely love this content, just share it. We would be so grateful. Thank you.
What is our first dilemma today?
Well, this came in on Instagram
Okay.
and it goes, why do some school parents think that they're better than others? I've noticed there's always a group of mums at school drop-off/pick-up that won't even acknowledge other parents or their kids. They huddle together like the bitches of Eastwick.
Oh, the
Love
bitches
that.
of Eastwick. Love it.
Without even a smile to anyone else, despite us all crossing paths twice a day, 5 times a week. It's the same at kids' parties. They'll all congregate around a table, making it difficult for anyone to interact with them, like they're the elite level of parents stirring their cauldron and casting judgment on everybody else's kids as they are so fucking perfect and wonderful.
Wow.
Yep. Thing is, I've helped out on a couple of school trips and their kids are far from perfect, which was quite amusing to see. It's like they all have to live up to a false pretense nowadays rather than living in the real world. Jeez, that felt good to write down. That's what he's written. I almost feel cleansed now. Or maybe it's because I'm a DILF and they know that they can't have me. Mm-hmm. The question is, and then he did say all of this, and I said, I need, what's the question? What are you asking us?
Yeah.
And he said, why do some school parents think they're better than others?
Okay, so I would like to say off the cuff, I did obviously do some mild snooping to see if, in fact, he was a DILF. Because that is so But it's surely pertinent to the query.
It's so irrelevant to
Is
the
it?
actual question.
Because it could be like...
Can I just say?
It could be like Tom Ellis writing in. So come on now, right? It could be anyone. It could be any old dilf.
Listen,
Anyway,
we're not talking about Tom
Okay,
Ellis.
I checked him out.
But what I'm saying is,
Yeah.
right, before you tell us, and we
Yeah.
all want to know the answer,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
but before you tell us, James is coming.
You're meant to carry on when I do this.
Oh, he's
All right.
James
I
pretending
didn't realise that
was.
was it.
Also, while I've interrupted you,
Yeah.
can you just clarify to Natalie that I'm not said DILF because I said everything that he said in his letter. And she's going to be like, oh my God, James wrote that.
Oh, okay. It's okay. It will become clear. It's
No, because she's done a snoop. Right, before we go into the answer of whether he is a DILF or not a DILF, can we please just remember that this guy is a listener?
Yes.
He follows the show.
Yes.
We love having male listeners because we
Yes.
didn't account for that at
Yeah.
all. So we are welcoming his support.
We are.
And his ears.
Yeah.
So
And we want to know if he's hot.
yeah, but if you're then going to say he is not a DILF, then we might lose him as a listener, and I don't want that to happen.
What I'm going to say to you is his profile picture is of him kissing a delightful looking baby, and you cannot see his face.
Oh.
So I can't answer the question. He has a nice shaped head. That's all I can tell
I
you.
reckon if he has put that out there that he's a DILF,
And his baby looked delightful.
then I reckon he probably is.
I can't answer. I am still stuck
You
in
know,
a
it's
limbo
funny
land.
you used the word DILF because it came up last
He used
night.
it. I didn't use it.
No, the funny that the word DILF is here because
Oh, yeah.
it came up last night in my head.
In your head?
Yeah. Yeah, in my head.
In your head?
Yeah.
Okay. Did it?
Because I was about to describe somebody as a DILF.
Yeah.
And then I remembered that I was talking to my dad.
AKA DILF.
My dad,
Yeah.
who's 78,
Yeah.
and my 16-year-old daughter. And I thought, no, DILF is not an appropriate way to describe someone right now.
Not to your father or your child.
no.
No,
So I didn't.
It's not.
So it's funny that it's now here.
Okay, well, it's here. I wonder, listener, if it is just because
DILF. Let's call him DILF.
I feel like I'm objectifying him now, but okay. DILF. I feel like it might just be
He
because
said it. It's fine.
It might just be because you're a man. And I say this because I have a very good friend who is a single father, and he does all the drop-offs, all the pickups, all the school trips, all the everythings. And he said to me in the early years, I don't understand it. None of the mothers will speak to me in the playground. And then they like drop off and they all go for a coffee. They never invite me. He said, I feel so excluded. I said, I think it's because you're a man. Like, they don't know your status. Like, they don't know if you're married, you're single, you're gay, you're whatever. And no woman wants to be inviting someone else's husband for morning
Yes,
coffee.
that's true.
So I'm like, I think
That's
they're
true.
just being a bit like wary of you. And he said, yeah, but I just feel really excluded.
Alone. Oh, that's really sad.
And so I don't know the situation with
well,
this
also,
DILF.
if he is a DILF,
Yeah.
then I can guarantee they're all talking about you.
Yeah, they're probably talking about you and also avoiding you
because they fancy you.
Yeah, maybe.
And also because if they do find you attractive, there is no way, absolutely no way they are going to be inviting you over for a play date.
Or talking to you at parties because
Then it
it's
looks like
not
they
good-
fancy you.
It's not good PR.
So I'm just telling you that the DILF thing isn't working out for you so well right now.
No, it's not. But maybe, I don't know.
That's being a victim of your own success.
I don't know if he is a gay man, a straight man, if he's a single parent, if he's married, if he's divorced. We don't know. He has not specified. But maybe like once you get to know these women, if you want to get to know them because they sound like the bitches of Eastwick, maybe once they know the setup, they might feel a bit more comfortable about like getting you in the gang. But it doesn't sound like he wants to be in the gang.
I think it does sound like he wants to be in the gang.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
But he's like, why are they so fucking snooty?
Doesn't matter. Doesn't mean that you don't want to be included in that. Also, I do know, I have come across, listen, my kids have been at school for many, many, many years, as have yours.
Yeah.
And my kids have been to numerous schools between the two of them. And I have come across parents like this, and I am not a man or a DILF.
But his question wasn't, why am I being excluded? His question was,
Why do school parents think they're better than others?
Because in every
I think that's in any community, isn't
in
it?
every community, every office, any village, any town, there are always people who think that their shit don't stink.
Have you come across parents like this in the past?
I have definitely come across cliquey parents.
Yes.
I think it also depends on the birth order of the kid. Like, I think with your first kid,
You notice things much more.
and you're also quite invested in the school community.
Yes.
Once it gets to kid 3, it's like, if you do make some friends, wow, you're lucky. And ironically, I've made so many more friends with my third kid than with 1 and 2.
But you've got more time.
I guess so, which I never expected to have, but I do. And they're really nice women.
Because 1 and 2, one's at uni, one's doing his own thing, and you're kind of around a bit more.
Yeah, but what I mean is when it's your first child...
I know exactly
like
what you mean. You're more invested.
Yeah, and your mum, you don't have many mum friends.
Well, I did. You did it much earlier.
Yeah, I did it really young.
I did it with all my friends.
I mean, I had mothers talk about cliquey. I remember dropping Max off on one of the first days in reception, and one of the mothers told me that she had bras older than me.
Oh, that is so
She was
horrible.
like, how old are you? I was like, I'm 28. She's like, oh my God, I have bras older than you. Firstly, like, get new bras.
Yeah.
Secondly, like...
That's not nice.
I know.
That's not nice.
I know. But now, because I'm really ancient and some of the mothers, their third, their first is the same age as my third and they're like 32.
Are they still saying, how old are you?
No, and I do feel like, so jealous of their youth, their skin, their pert breasts.
No, just stop talking. Just stop talking. Stop talking.
They're so young.
It's enough now.
Youth is great.
Let's leave it there. Lauren, you know me, and you know when it comes to answering the listeners' dilemmas and when it comes to food, I always trust my gut. And I also trust Zoe, the leading science and nutrition company.
All the nutritionists that we've spoken to on Self-Care Club have highlighted just how much misleading information is out there when it comes to food. Things like the claims that you see on packaging that say things like low sugar or nothing artificial. These are often assigned to actually avoid these foods. Ever noticed a health claim on fresh fruit?
No, never.
Right, well, you get my point.
So it's completely understandable why there's so much distrust and wondering who you should turn to for accurate information.
Well, it's very simple. It's not a dilemma for us. We use Zoe.
Backed by one of the world's largest microbiome databases and most scientifically advanced at-home gut health tests, Zoe gives you proven science whenever you need it.
Go to Zoe.com and find out what Zoe membership could do for you. And because you listen to 40ish, you can use the exclusive code 40ish10 at checkout to get 10% off membership. As a Zoe member, you'll get an at-home test kit and personalised nutrition program to help you make smarter food choices that support your gut. That's Zoe.com. Use code 40ish10 at checkout. Trust your gut. Trust Zoe.
My dad works in B2B marketing. He came by my school for career day and said he was a big ROAS man. Then he told everyone how much he loved calculating his return on ad spend. My friends still laugh at me to this day.
Not everyone gets B2B, but with LinkedIn, you'll be able to reach people who do. Get a $100 credit on your next ad campaign. Go to linkedin.com/results to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/results. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be.
This episode is brought to you by State Farm. From your morning podcast to your afternoon playlist, State Farm knows you personalize your entire day. And that's why State Farm helps you personalize your insurance with the State Farm Personal Price Plan. It offers coverage options that help protect what you care about most at an affordable price just for you. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Prices vary by state. Options selected by customer. Availability and eligibility may vary.
This episode is brought to you by LifeLock. During tax season, your personal info travels to a lot of places. Between payroll, your tax consultant, and the IRS. If your W-2 gets exposed, that's just the ticket for identity thieves. That's why LifeLock monitors millions of data points every second. If your identity is stolen, they'll fix it guaranteed or your money back. Don't let identity thieves take you for a ride. Save up to 40% your first year. Visit LifeLock.com/podcast. Terms apply.
I have a question for you.
Oh, yeah.
Why
Yeah.
why Why are you? I was out one night, right? And my phone is like pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging and pinging. And usually when my phone is pinging and pinging, because I can feel it on my watch because it vibrates, I think, oh, it's one of my kids that needs something. And I'm looking and it's Instagram and it's Instagram and it's Instagram. Okay, so I'm ignoring it. And then I get back to my phone and I'm like looking at what Instagram was pinging me. And it's basically you DMing some guy about circumcised willies. Now, to give this context, you don't DM anyone.
No.
So if someone replies, the amount of times that I go into our DMs and you've read it, looked at it, and ignored it, I can't even tell you how often you do that.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, in 5 years, it still fucks me off that you do that. Because if you are left on read, listeners, that is Lauren. If you get a nice heart emoji or a like or a reply, that is me.
Sometimes it's me, but it's rare. It's rare.
You leave everybody on red.
Sometimes it's me.
You leave everybody on red. You do. Anyway, this guy she didn't leave on red. He was talking to her about circumcision and we're not leaving him on red. Him we're going to reply to and we're going to reply all night. All night.
Okay.
What?
Okay.
The fuck?
Let's backtrack a little. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it was you, my friend, not I, that engaged with this gentleman in a conversation about foreskin. And I shall tell you, I shall prove it. You put up a story on Instagram asking the listeners for their questions/dilemmas. And this gentleman replied asking a question about foreskin. And you entered into a conversation with him about it and then just left the conversation.
What did I say? See, I replied.
Yeah, you certainly did. He was asking, he was an American man living in America. And
so he says.
I'm going to just assume the truth, okay? Because otherwise it makes it very dark. He's an American man living in America. And I don't think this was a 40-ish question, but you asked for questions. And his question was, is it normal for men in Britain to be circumcised? That was his question. I don't know why he asked us, as we mentioned at the top of the show, not doctors or health professionals.
Or single.
Or foreskin experts. Or owners
or on the dating scene.
Or owners of penises.
Yeah.
So this is not our speciality, right? You were like, no, it's not a thing. And then you had a bit of back and forth and then you left it.
No, I didn't have a bit of back and forth. That is not true.
There were a couple of messages.
What did I say?
Do I have to actually read them?
Yeah. Because I don't think that is true. I think I said no, and that was the end of it.
I've got to put my glasses on now.
I think I was probing for a question.
You were probing.
That's all. I was just trying to get to a question, rather than actually wondering about whether his penis was circumcised or not.
No, he was very willing to give that information. You didn't need to probe for it. I've sent you a dilemma. Can you please keep it confidential? That would be huge for me. That was an unfortunate turn of phrase. I'd appreciate it. Of course, no problem, you say.
No, I didn't. I said, of course, no problem.
Thanks. I know it's kind of an awkward topic. To be honest, this is you. To be honest, I just wanted to know more about what you were asking. Would you like us or not to discuss it? And shall we keep you anonymous? Yes, keep me anonymous. Does this make more sense? Yes. And then you say, Nicole Goodman, please give me more info on what you're asking. Sorry for being confusing.
I back up what I said. I was looking for a question.
Are you aware that most men in America are circumcised and that it's a bit taboo not to be? Yes, I was actually. I'm not sure how. This is all you. I am not involved. Oh, got you. I'm just assuming where you guys are, most men are uncircumcised. You're saying, I'm just going to have to figure out a way to have this conversation on the show because we're not exactly on the single scene. Okay.
Now you come in.
Now I come in.
now
I come in. And basically...
Why did you come in? You don't even look at our DMs.
Well, I was very interested as to why he was asking us this question. Because I don't think we're like a likely pair to be experts on the penis shape and style.
Or the trend.
The stylings of worldwide penises.
Yeah. I did you get to the bottom of that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good.
It took quite a lot of back and forth, but I did. And I told him, because it was factual, It is pretty standard for men in the US to be circumcised. The same goes for Muslim men, African men, a lot of the black community and Jewish men. My question is, why is it a dilemma to you? That was what I said. He said, well, I'm sorry, this seems to become a bit confusing. I'm living in America, born and raised, but I'm uncircumcised. I hope that's not too much TMI. So I feel a bit, I'm more on the side that it's an alien concept. And I just was like, okay, this is all right. And I said, don't worry about the TMI. I am the only person without a penis in a household of 5. So has it just come into your awareness this is a thing and you're in the minority? Is it a problem? Do you feel left out? It can be resolved. Or do you feel like it's weird that everyone else is? Just asking. And he was like, okay, a lot of questions.
Now, isn't it interesting how suddenly you're the weird one?
Wait for it. And I'd be happy to
Suddenly
answer.
he's like, I don't think I should have entered into this conversation. And I started the conversation off about circumcised penises. And look at this weird woman.
He's like, I'd be happy to answer them all. Anyway, so it goes on and on and on and on. He said, I was asking because I definitely feel like I'm in the minority. Growing up, I was teased about it. So as a grown man, it's something that stays on my mind and I'm a little bit more conscious about it than others. And I said, and at this point, I will be totally honest with you. I was in the kitchen, I was cooking dinner with one hand and I was having this conversation with another. And I promise you, my phone was like this because I was waiting and waiting. I was like, are we being catfished? Am I being
Not we. I was way out of the conversation at this point.
Am I being so naive? And is at any second an unwarranted dick pic going, my first ever, by the way, is it going to come in on my phone?
I don't think I've
And
ever
am
had
I
one.
going to be like, oh my God. Is this what's going to happen now? And I was terrified. I genuinely worried this was going to happen. So I said to him, because I thought I can be nothing but honest.
Or you could just stop replying.
I couldn't stop. So I said, to be honest with you.
It was the most fun you've had in years.
It was. To be honest with you, it's not really standard chat for me to be discussing foreskin with a strange man at 6 p.m. on a Wednesday night, or any night, to be honest. But I think the general consensus is it's standard to not be snipped here, but not in the US. Also, thank you very much for keeping this PG rated because I was getting a bit worried. And he said, I appreciate you taking the time to answer this. And yes, I was hoping it didn't come across weird or creepy. I will definitely be keeping it PG. And then I said to him, because I realised his job, because it was very obvious from his photo, you seem like a very talented tattoo artist, and most decent women are more interested in the person than the penis, so don't worry about it. And he said, thank you very much for saying that. I sincerely appreciate you spending the time. And that was our foreskin discussion. It was so PG. And I really appreciated the respect on both sides of that conversation, because it could have gone awry.
And let me tell you something. I was at my daughter's school watching her in some music competition and this shit is pinging up on my phone and I'm surrounded by other mothers. I mean, can you imagine if someone had seen all of this coming up on my phone?
Or if he had indeed not kept it PG.
And the dick pic had actually come to my phone. I've got my husband on one side, another mother on the other. It wouldn't have looked good for me.
Or me.
You were engaging in it.
Listen, we are both involved in this and it's
We're
fine.
both complicit.
We are both. But it's fine because I now feel we've had a mutually respectful conversation. I hope that he feels okay.
But it wasn't necessary, was it?
Well,
Did you tell Ollie that you're having this conversation with some strange man?
I mean, I haven't
Not
yet.
strange man, stranger.
Who's
a man?
I haven't yet, but I feel okay about it because it was kept on the right side of medical and not on the wrong side of weird.
If he messages you again,
he's not going to. He really needed this question answered and we have resolved it for him. And isn't that the very point of our podcast? Anyway, don't ask us anything more about it, okay? We're done with this. Just saying.
let's move on to our next dilemma.
Okay. Please keep me anonymous, but I'm interested to know your thoughts on this. I'm in my early 40s. I've been with my husband for 6 years. He is quite a lad's lad and well known for having a big personality, which usually I love.
Okay, great.
A couple of years ago, we were out on a night out with another couple. We were saying our goodbyes and getting in a taxi. They commented that we were leaving a little earlier than usual, and my husband replied telling them I was gagging for it.
Oh, that is very crass.
I was mortified and I ripped into him when we got home. He apologised profusely and we never spoke about it again. I was very clear with him about how hurt I was.
Oh, I'm not surprised.
This morning I had coffee with 2 friends. They said they needed to tell me something. Oh, God. My husband plays Sunday football with their partners, and when they were having beers afterwards, the conversation got on to sex. Apparently, he sat at the table and happily told both of them everything that we get up to in bed in explicit detail.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, my God.
This obviously got back to one of my friends who then told me this morning. I'm fuming that the men didn't keep their mouths shut and obviously relayed it all when they got home. I am also beside myself with anger that my husband would talk this way, especially knowing how upset I was the last time. The thought of them all discussing our sex life makes me feel physically sick.
Yes.
And my friends were put in such an awkward position to have to tell me. I was practically in tears in front of them and I left early. I'm so embarrassed.
Oh, that poor girl.
I am honestly rethinking my marriage. Am I being over the top or has he crossed a line? Oh.
Can I just say, though, at the top, right?
Yeah.
Women do tend to talk about their sex lives with their husbands.
I was just about to say this to you.
Like, we don't go into detail, but we do discuss it with each other.
I was just about to say this to you.
But not in a crass way.
But like, let's say a man had written that question. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Would you and I feel differently about it than the fact that a woman has written
Yes.
it? Why?
Yes.
Why? Because that's not actually fair.
I agree with you.
Is it?
No, it's not. But there have been times where you have discussed things with me and I have discussed things with you.
But to qualify that, we would definitely discuss things, but not in explicit detail.
Who wants the explicit detail?
No thanks.
Nobody.
We would discuss things in vague terms. Would you say that's fair? We wouldn't discuss explicit detail.
We don't discuss explicit details, but I definitely know when you've had sex.
Okay, and same. But there's no like blow by blow of how.
No,
no, that's not a thing.
Who wants to talk about that?
No
who
one
wants to know
who
that?
wants to listen? Like,
I don't even discuss it with my husband.
No, but I've had this conversation with my husband. I've said, like, do you ever discuss that with anyone else? He's like, never.
I don't.
Ever,
I wouldn't
ever,
even.
ever.
I would. I'm absolutely positive that Adam would never discuss it with anybody.
He said to me, men don't do that. Men don't discuss their sex lives with their wives with other men, but women do.
Women do.
And I said, how do you know women do? You're not a woman. He said, I bet you tell all your friends everything. I'm like, I really don't tell all my friends everything. I really don't, because like that's just not how it works with women. It's not.
But you do discuss it.
But like, if I said to Ollie, Nicole knows we had sex yesterday, I think he'd be like, well, that's fucking weird. But
who
does
cares?
she need to know? But I don't think he'd be upset about that. But
no, I don't think Adam would. I don't think he'd really care.
But
they just don't. They don't behave the same way in that respect. But they don't. They talk about different things. They just do.
I think maybe the caveat to this is because if someone maybe is divorced or they're dating someone new or it's something very out of the ordinary, then they might spill a bit more because there's a bit more juicy goss. But I don't think about the person that they love and that they're with. Do you know what I mean?
But also when it's your spouse, that's a very, very intimate relationship.
That's what I mean.
That I will only discuss with you. No. But there's a level, isn't there? Yeah. There's a line.
Yeah.
And I don't think either one of us ever crossed that for it to be exposing for our husbands.
No.
Or disrespectful.
No. And I think if we ever do discuss it, we're normally talking about ourselves more than we're talking about them. And it's vague stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about... Let's just keep it vague.
Okay, let's just keep it very vague.
But women talk about it, is what I'm saying. And I think you're right. I think we would feel very differently if this was a woman. The thing is, it's about her boundaries and it's about what she's comfortable with. If she feels that this is a step too far and she feels this is very exposing, then she has every right to feel like that.
But I also feel like, look, I don't know, because I don't sit in conversations with men as a man. So it's very hard to know what they actually talk about when women aren't around. But I feel like when women talk about it, they are not talking about the mechanics or the who did what
or
to
the
who and where.
No.
They might just talk about themselves and their experience. Do you know what I mean? In a vague way. That's the conversations that women have, I have found.
Well, the thing is, in middle age, it's normally like, oh no, I had a bit of a mojo yesterday, because it's always nice and surprising. Like, this isn't okay, because she's not okay with it.
No.
And if what she's saying is he's been very indiscreet, well, where else is he indiscreet? Because now I'm questioning this guy.
Well, look, she has made it very, very clear. The first time he made a comment that she felt was inappropriate, she said how hurt and upset. And now he's done it again.
Well, I don't think he's just started talking about it.
No.
I think she's only just found out that he talks about it.
And to me, it feels very disrespectful. Very disrespectful.
I agree. And I think you need to sit down and have a very serious discussion with him about it.
And I think she feels, well, she said she's embarrassed, and I think she feels a bit objectified. Like, it's not okay to speak like that about the person you're married to anybody else.
It's not really okay to speak like that. It's not really okay to speak about anyone like that. I can't get the sentence out. It's not okay to speak about anyone like that. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but especially your wife.
Especially your wife, but anybody. It's not okay to objectify anybody.
No.
Regardless of the relationship, regardless if you met them once, it's not okay.
I really feel for her.
So do I.
A lot.
I think my advice is talk to him. And if he doesn't understand, he doesn't get it, I would actually have some therapy around it. Because I think you need to establish what the boundaries are in your marriage, because you clearly have very different ideas over what's okay and what isn't.
And I think he thinks it's fun and it's banter and it's fine and it's funny.
Yeah.
And it's really not funny.
And also because the people that he's telling, you don't know how discreet they are.
Well, they're not discreet because they went straight home and told both their partners.
But
told her.
But you don't know. They might have told their partners to say, FYI, I think she should know about it because he shouldn't be talking about it.
Or maybe they went home and they were like, oh my God, you will not believe it. He told me they do this, they do that, they do the other. And that is just not okay.
Oh, I would feel so upset.
And also, you don't know what it is they're getting up to, and it's nobody's business. And it's just not all right for everyone to know that. No,
categorically, no.
No, you are right to be upset, hurt, embarrassed, all of the things.
Yeah.
And yes, he has definitely crossed the line.
Yes.
Major.
Yes.
Blech.
That's our show on 40ish. We're going to be back on Tuesday for another Unfiltered. Please keep your comments, your messages, your questions, your dilemmas, your rants, all of it coming in. We love it.
But if you have any medical questions or questions about your own
ask
genitalia,
Lauren.
you
can ask Lauren.
No, you can ask a health practitioner, because we're not qualified to answer those things.
Even though she spent all night doing so.
Yeah, but it was a one-off. It was a one-off. One and done. It was a one and done situation. Okay.
We'll be back next week.
Bye.
Bye.
Hi, I'm Grace, host of Red Rum True Crime Podcast. These cases focus on the true victims of crime. Why not jump in at episode 114, the tragic murder of Jasmine and Aaliyah? The main suspect in this case gave an extremely bizarre interview to a number of press reporters whilst he was drunk and reportedly high. He speaks about an awful lot on camera and has this completely inappropriate laughing and chuckling response when talking about the case. He may even have thought he was gonna get away with the double murder he'd been accused of, but what he didn't know was that 2 undercover officers were on their way to catch him out, and he easily and willingly took the bait. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts. Just search Red Rum True Crime. That's Red Rum, murder backwards, REDRUM True Crime.